As the blank space upon the paper draws out before the very eye that cannot see, but is omniscient, it is already written above. And in that writing of purity speaking out of the mouth of the favored one, times of hardship that come when the robbers of him who had set a safe place in Zion, when King David Wagliffe took over the city of Zion and called it David, a safe place for the poor and afflicted that cannot see, they cannot hear, they are not awake, they have lost themselves to the moral ethic of unrighteous practices or the lawless one who fills our cups with want and desire and the seven sins. In some scriptures that I have presented, it states that John the Baptist, who is lesser in heaven, but greater is he. So John the Baptist is after those times where the prophets and the speakers of the Lord taken and overpowered by too many oppressed, too many poor, too many afflicted, and not enough godly people to deliver or salvage. When the Bible was written, it states the 144,000 saints that were chosen before the great final crossing between two worlds in King David's time of taking over Zion, being with the Lord of hosts, and the Lord of hosts being in a different realm, but with King David in a different realm, awake to the Lord of hosts. Taken down, and after the 144,000 were chosen, and Jesus came down and spoke truth, and then died in the flesh upon the cross when the people had oppressed. There was too many broken and contrite spirits, too many afflicted, poor and needy, uh, afflicted uh, by the hardship of the moral ethic of law and money. It says in scripture, it is our destruction that we made for ourselves. It has taken place, and it is written upon the earth or thefted from the angel who came down and died upon a cross to speak the truth. After the fall of King David or the rising up of King David, no one knows if King David, when he passed away, if he actually went up into heaven. In some scriptures it says, I wait for my only son, Jesus, to come join me in my kingdom. And perhaps this is the saying of the last 144,000 chosen, and Jesus came down in the flesh and put himself to the cross for world conflict or childbirth, which is what, concluding the Bible, which is what the angels amongst the people and the people with the angels had chosen, dying from God in Adam and Eve, and then in Jesus after the final 144,000 coming down in the flesh and showing extreme love in shepherding and healing, and put to a cross with everybody's iniquity and destroying an entire third of the earth and sea before the sea was separated from the earth into the sanctuaries above. This is this is saying that the war actually took place in the stars before the actual full founding of the earth and its inhabitants took place. No one could really say it, doesn't really say actually how it took place. We can only guess, but I have taken the time to decipher some scriptures that are already written saying there is writing above and the steps that are taken are already written, and then there is writing below that which we study in a church, meaning it already took place, and there is another Bible to come, and after that another Bible to come. This is because there is too many poor, too many afflicted, and too many bullies that pick on them for their money and their gain, stripping them of their birthrights. And David, who gave a safe place in Zion as a full breed, um, heavyweight baby like Hercules and all those other great heroes in the Bible that fought their own wars with the law and um, governing systems that overpowered the poor and the afflicted and thefted from them and used what they thefted upon them for their money, riches, and gain, and then wasted upon them again to pay the deed of their own iniquity. And fighting self in self is the trickery and treachery of the Bible. And want and desire in loss and hardship is the other trick. You have to, you just gotta say, all right, I understand you, yet you still come at me knowing that you can't defeat me because I understand you and I've spoken truth and it's already written above. But there is also a Bible studied here where Jesus Christ came down in the flesh and died just before speaking truth, which everybody recorded. And this is the same aspect in my understanding that will take place again. Someone that comes after it says, well, it used to say they have taken some things out of the Bible in order for someone to prophesy, which is according to what is written. Better to say a term of logic to what is written, not a prophecy, but a term of logic by what is written. But they have taken some things out of the Bible in order for one to say it's a big trickery and treachery game to have war with the darkness as a light soul or heavyweight baby. It's a it's a deceiving thing to do inside some of these religious um, religious colleges and uh, churches that have their own man-made understanding to write down their own literatures according in the same manner as me speaking what is already written above. For God is before you, and he was here before you even were born. Therefore it is already written above. And when Jesus comes down again, people will record it and it will be another Bible to study. In my own understanding. In my own understanding, but in a logical understanding, being with an omniscience awake to the spiritual world that is trapped here in the darkness for the want and the desire and losing themselves to it, to the darkness, and being trapped here with no safe place to go that is able to salvage. And when they had killed all of the 144,000 saints saying, how long will it be, O Lord, before you avenge our blood? And for consecrating themselves to the Lord and salvaging what it is that is trapped in the darkness, which is called the law and money. However, I had said in logical scriptures that from the rib of Adam came the woman, and from the woman came law, and from that you cannot hate yourself. So this is my leading, shepherding thoughts on all of that. You have to just keep on rolling with the punches. Every block they put before you, every stumble, every manipulation and trickery and treachery that leads the family to make you desolate. You have to have faith and stay strong in the word and prayer and keep on leading in a manner that God seeks, one with real understanding in order for the rise of purity that is already written. But if we have a book here upon this earth, and after King David captivated Zion and called it the city of David and a safe place for all of the poor and hard pressed and the afflicted and the needy and the orphans, the fatherless, all of those widows, and a place to find safety and salvation and redemption. And even um, between the two worlds of the Lord of Hosts and King David, awaiting his only son to join his kingdom. This is this is the hard analogy of the Bible. Jesus came, he was here in the beginning, but then he came down in the flesh, and everybody recorded the Bible before he was crossed. He spoke truth, he shepherded, he was a great healer and a place of salvation. And this is the concept of what is written. It's already written, but it's not upon this earth. It's not upon this earth yet. But when Jesus came down, he put the words in the hearts and souls and minds of all people, and in the eyes of them that see and hear are able to teach and offer a safe place for salvation. And it is only the purity of wisdom that God seeks. I thought I would take the time to write down some of the scriptures that the scribes have already written and studied throughout the entire world, but they don't exactly say it the way that I say it. So maybe they'll come to a further understanding in their practices, whether it be for law or it be for salvation.